We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're gonna get kicked out of being number 2, you're gonna go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're gonna get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good afternoon on the West Coast. Good afternoon in the mountain. Good afternoon in the central. Good afternoon on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparations perspective, bringing you those free and hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our vote, socializing our suffering. How y'all doing, family? Happy post-day of giving thanks. It's good to see you one and all. Welcome, ScrewTube. Welcome, Twitter. Welcome, Racebook. Finally got my Racebook back, y'all. It's a miracle. Finally, they let me have my Racebook back. It's just a mess. I had already avowed that this was it for me. I was not going to create another account if they kicked me off of this particular account over some 2-factor authentication, whatever, fill in the blank, nonsense that I'd already done, in the initial stages of this 2-factor authentication process. So y'all know I'm being shadow banned. So please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you very much. I pray that your day of giving thanks was rich and full and, that you didn't eat too much. That's hard, right? That's the part. At least prayerfully, you did your power walks and you did your light jogs or whatever you could to at least break even on those calories. Lord knows, I fixed not one but two Hennessy butter pineapple upside down cakes. They had to get up out of here. Okay? They had to get up out of here. So my daughter has the nerve. She's home for the holiday from college. She literally has me in here with the do-over on the greens. She wants more greens. She wants more mac and cheese. She wants her Jiffy cornbread. Okay. So I'm between y'all in the kitchen. I'm getting a college care package ready because she is just doing that. Those kind of sounds. Talking about it's bussin', sheesh. So I'd already done her a sweet potato pie. And now she wants more collards. She don't want nobody else's collards. She wants her mama's collards and her mama's mac and cheese. So, I had to handle business for my child. Who's over here in the comments section? I see you, Ivok Info. Great to see you too, The Rock. I see you, fam. Where is his piece of cake? Baby boo. There's nothing more complimentary. Hi, Yaira. I see you, family. There's nothing more complimentary than to show up to a Thanksgiving feast, a day of giving thanks. I really don't do the Thanksgiving piece. We all know why. That's not the show. But there's nothing more special to someone who loves to cook than to show up with a Hennessy butter pineapple upside down cake. Yeah, Hennessy is in that piece, y'all. It is lip smacking good. There's nothing more complimentary than to show up to a dessert table laid and splayed with sweet potato pie and peach cobbler. And your dessert goes first. Okay? I felt so complimented when I asked the table of 10 about dessert and I shared what the offerings were. Every hand went up for my Hennessy butter pineapple upside down cake, and they raved about it and took some home. So I didn't have to bring it home and slather it on my waistline after all the progress I've made out here in these streets, slimming down. So now I've got to fast between Thanksgiving, when my daughter goes home. It's futile trying to lose an ounce with her in the house. But when I take her back to college, it's back to green smoothies. Okay, and fasting until I have to go out of town for my daughter, my niece's college graduation. Lord, I'm so proud of these kids. Oh my God, it's just rich. I remember when it was just me and my older sister, Renee, who were college graduates. And now my nephews, my niece, oh my goodness, and Genesis bringing up the rear. Genesis on the back stretch. Y'all know my baby is a track star. She gonna work them hurdles, the 100 and the 400 meter hurdles at her college. And I cannot wait for track season. Woo, I can't wait to see what she's been up to because the girl is snatched. Okay. She's got those abs popping. I call her the invasion of the body snatchers. Y'all mamas know what I'm talking about. She's got my body that I'm trying to get back. Okay? That I'm going to get back. Name it and claim it, family. Yes, thank you so much, YVOC Info, for the note of congratulations. Yes, my niece Kyla, I'm traveling to her graduation mid-December. Then I've got a debutante ball in Texas that I've got to go to. New Mexico for the one, Texas for the other. Child, it's going to be a busy December. So I got to fast because they want my Hennessy butter pineapple upside down cake. So I got to fast so I can have me a piece, right? That's how we do it, family. Balance, no deprivation. I don't believe in that. Well, without further ado, because I don't want to be on here long, I still got to finish this girl's care package, y'all. But I had to come over here. Y'all know I got to keep making my case for weaponizing the vote, y'all. Okay. So Trump's up to his stuff, child. You know Trump. He said he has done the most since Abe Lincoln for black folks. Well, is he lying? Y'all want to get your panties in a bunch? Not y'all, not my people that roll with me. Y'all don't get your panties in a bunch because y'all are my revolutionaries. Y'all my real comrades, okay? Y'all understand what I mean by weaponizing this vote and socializing this suffering. So Trump went on and on and on. Let's just look at the video and just memorialize it here. Because he makes me laugh, really. Listen, Trump is harmless to me. Wonder how Georgia's doing. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Traveling is wonderful. Stay safe. Thank you, Yaira. Yeah. You know, the Republican clans get on folks' nerves, right? I understand that we are at war and the Democrats declared war and have been declaring war since FDR. Well, how do you know that, Miss Angela? Well, I'm glad you asked. Look at where we are economically, and now they're coming for the vote. Highest rates of homelessness, unemployment, underemployment. Do you need any more proof? And we've been voting blue no matter damn who since FDR. Okay? Our ancestors had the wherewithal with little to no education, right? And no social media. Their message went viral somehow. I don't know if they sent up a smoke signal, if it was telepathic. I'm not really sure, but they got the job done. Knew when to pivot from the Republican clans to the Democrats for civil rights. And they eked out an existence, right? Many of them are retired with homes from jobs that had pensions. But they forgot to close the gate and put it up more secure. And so now everyone benefits from our affirmative action and our civil rights. But us, we are on the bottom. So let's get into it. I want to share Trump because he just gets under everybody's skin, not mine. Child, let me tell you something. When the Democrats have a trifecta, we're the only ones in distress, right? When the Republican clans are in there, everybody gets that smoke. I think it's fair. My suffering, I love it to be socialized. That's how that goes. But let's get into it. Stand by. Let me pull up the troublemaker Trump. He was asked by a reporter when Biden accused him of being the first racist president in office. Boy, I tell you, the smoke and mirrors. Let's see. Where is that at? Hold on, family. I've got a couple articles, quite a few articles open, actually. I want the one with him. Okay, I think. Hold on, y'all. We got a lot to cover today. I've been away for a while. Child of the ghetto. Some things, you know, Shanquella Robinson just made me take to my bed, y'all. I couldn't speak, but I realized what Ida B. Wells had to go through when she was reporting on the lynching. So I'm going to get into it. I don't know if it's going to make it this video, but I might be back after I take Genesis back to college to do that particular Shanquella Robinson story because I've got some updates, y'all. I've been busy. Hold on. Share the screen. Make sure y'all can see. All right, y'all can see because I can see. All right.
Described you might have heard that as the first racist to be elected president. That was his words.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we did criminal justice reform. We passed criminal justice reform, something that Obama and Biden were unable to do. We did opportunity cities. We did the greatest. If you look at what we've done with opportunity zones, nobody's ever even thought of a plan like that. Prior to the China plague coming into our country and really doing terrible things all over the world, doing terrible things. We had the best African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, almost every group was the best for unemployment. The unemployment numbers were the best. You look at employment, you look at opportunity zones, and maybe most importantly, you look at criminal justice reform, you look at prison reform. I've done things that nobody else, and I've said this, and I say it openly, and not a lot of people dispute it. I've done more for Black Americans than anybody, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. Nobody has even been close. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Now, let's get into this a little bit, y'all. Hold on. I don't know what that thing is right there. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, okay? What we need to examine is this true? Well, I started checking his record, and as compared to Joe Crow's, but let's talk about it. So, you heard what he had to say about it. And there was a Faulkner, a Black woman, stopped the president to point out that Black Americans are free now, to which Trump replied, "You understand what I mean, so I'm going to take a pass on Honest Abe," as we call him, and did not appear to clarify what was questionable about Lincoln. Okay, I'm just cherry picking off of a Forbes article that I pulled up here. This woman talking about we're free now, are we? Now, I know that 10% of us are doing okay, but understand that it doesn't take much as freedmen to be doing okay. About $100,000 a year makes you good. And predominantly, those are the salaries of Black immigrants. This is me speaking. I'm going to be checked. Y'all know how I do. I go through my articles and I weigh in with my reparations perspective, right? So get comfy. Please be sure to chat in the comments. I'll be over to play with you in about 45 minutes is the plan. So yeah, are you really free if 90% share less than 700 billion since COVID and 10% share 2.93 trillion? And we've got about 14% Black immigrant to 86% American freedmen who descend from U.S. chattel slavery. Are you really free? I've seen documentaries that show that slavery is still going on in some parts of this country, in the deepest recesses of Mississippi. So see, I'm of the mindset as an advocate for American freedmen and an activist, and a co-founder of the former ADOS movement, which is the Contemporary Reparations Grassroots Movement. I don't believe any of us are free until all of us are free. Few exceptions. I'm not in it to make sure I'm comfortable, because I understand, given the racism I've dealt with in the workplace, that it could have been me. I could have been the one homeless and struggling for a place to live and struggling with food to eat. You got educated people who are now homeless and living in their cars. Our national median income is less than Latinos. And what the Democrats, you don't get to do, and this is a title for a whole nother program, a whole nother broadcast, you don't get to weaponize our votes to erase and replace us with immigrants and pile on before paying those reparations in the quadrillions over several lifetimes. No, I'm not satisfied with $350,000 per person. I want $1 million per person. No less than $1 million per person. And that's getting off cheap relative to what you owe. And it's not our fault that the price tag is as exorbitant as it is. Had you left us to our 40 acres and a mule, well, we wouldn't be here with owing each of us $1 million apiece. Now, would we? So that's my number as a negotiator that I'd be comfortable with. And I don't need it in a lump sum. You can pay over a few years the way you continue to pay the Jews for a Holocaust that, yes, you did participate in by ignoring it for some time. Okay. So if the Jews can continue to be paid for their Holocaust, American freedmen should be paid for hours because it's never ending. And those are the reparations I'm fighting for. I'm not here to have a fire sale. We've waited this long. We might as well wait because we have to get this number right. And we can't be settling and setting freedmen up for more despair. As for Abe Lincoln, you guys know, who've been following me for some time, that he was no hero to Black people. So that was a dreadful analogy for Trump. Yes, he, signed off on the Emancipation Proclamation, but he was also trying to expatriate us back to foreign lands that we knew not of, right? Yeah. They used our ancestors as the shoes to build the wealthiest country in the free world, right? In the known world, rather, because it's not free. And then he wanted to get rid of the shoes so they could enjoy this country without having to be reminded every time they look upon us of the debt they owe. So, no, he's not a hero. I would not go that far. Okay, so he talked about passing criminal justice reform, saying nobody else could have done it, but adding that he didn't get a lot of notoriety in the fact that people I did it for then go on television and thank everybody but me, and they needed me to get it done. Well, when you compare it to Joe Crow, who raised, the question for the reporter that Trump at the time that he was in office was the most racist, I would venture to say you could compare his passing criminal justice reform and juxtapose that against Joe Crow, who's the author of the 94 crime bill that was effectuated and passed into law, 3 strikes by Clinton with 3 Ks, right? So when juxtapose it, family, so far he's winning. And this was the First Step Act, a sweeping bipartisan criminal justice reform bill he signed into law in 2018. Let me find that so I can tell you what that consisted of. Stand by, family. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And if you feel so compelled, bless the broadcast. Okay. Hold on, family. Lots open to share with you today. This will have to probably spill over into a part 2. I'm going to try to get to it today because my week gets crazy. I am not just here in this space with you guys. I have formed my own organization. I'm not disclosing much right now because I ascribe to moving in stealth mode. Can't give away everything over here, for damn sure. But with that being said, if you'd like to get involved and you'd like to know what I'm doing out here in the state of California, please Gmail me at therepperspect@gmail. It's scrolling in the bar below. Do know that you will be held to the utmost of confidence and you will be vetted because I'm looking for people who are willing to go to work. I'm not looking for folks who just want to be Twitter space famous, okay? Or grifting off of our distress and our oppression. I don't want those people in my organization. So please reach out to me if you're interested in working. I'm willing to work with people from all over the country, akin to the help I've given other organizations throughout the country. But I'm really looking for foot soldiers that want to go to work here in Southern California. Okay, so please reach out to me. Here we go. The First Step Act, formerly known as the Formerly Incarcerated Re-Enter Society Transform Safely Transitioning Every Person Act, That's a long ass title, is a bipartisan criminal justice bill passed by the 115th Congress and signed by President Donald Trump in December 2018. Okay. The act enacted several changes in U.S. federal criminal law aimed at reforming federal prisons and sentencing laws in order to reduce recidivism, decreasing the federal inmate population, and maintaining public safety. My challenge with all of this is that the majority of freed men, women, and children are in state prisons, which were funded by the feds. So this is the grift, and they all participate in it. But it's a far cry better than being the author of the 94 crime bill, having been the first to call us super predators. I'll look at the archives. I don't have time. Okay. And then working as a Democratic Party when they overstood about their involvement in the war on drugs, now the war on poverty. It's still a far cry better than that. Okay. Back to the text. Trump also said he provided long-term funding for historically Black colleges and universities in his 3 years in office and has helped redirect resources to opportunity zones or low-income areas where new investments may be eligible for tax breaks. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's unpack this. So, when it came to historically Black colleges and universities, he did sign an executive order to give the HBCUs $250 million annually. Now, your first mind might be to say, oh, but Joe Crow gave $2.7 billion. And then guess what Joe Crow did? Let's talk about it. He earmarked $2.7 billion. Hold on, guys. I got an article I need to share so we can talk about perspective here. He earmarks $2.7 billion for HBCUs, but this is the piece he left off. That he planned to pit Hispanic serving colleges against the HBCUs to compete for that money. Okay, now I've already done this article on another archive, but I want to get into it a little bit because I want to show you the games people play, the grift. You need to understand about the grift because it ties into today's topic that you cannot have a revolution within a non-revolutionary party called the Democrats. They have declared war. So this is what they're famous for doing. They weaponize our never-ending Holocaust against us to give immigrants and white folks the come up, to give them the bag. We should not be getting into robbing Peter to pay Paul, said Representative Raul Grijalva, a co-chair of the House Hispanic Serving Institution Caucus. Joe Crow, my word, Build Back Better plan is setting up a conflict between Hispanic serving colleges and historically Black college institutions, with both vying for the same resources to address inequities for underserved populations. So you want to do it in the name of the HBCU while backdooring this particular set aside to Hispanics. HBCUs have built a collective brand, getting renewed presidential attention since the Trump administration, and using their political clout to push Congress for money to upgrade aging campuses they say have long been underfunded by the federal government. Why is this the case when we've been voting blue no matter damn who? Do you feel free? Hispanic serving institutions, which number more than 5 times as many across the U.S. as the approximately 100 HBCUs, say their institutions have also been overlooked. This is the problem I've got with the Democrats. And this is why I'm imploring upon you to weaponize your vote and socialize your suffering. They got 500 colleges, Hispanic serving institutions to our 100. And our ancestors built this country with their very lives. But y'all want to either withhold your vote and not participate in weaponizing your vote, according to the grifters and the Democratic shield, to leave the fate of our line in the hands of immigrants who seek to replace us and Crayola white supremacists who seek to erase us. This is what y'all keep voting for. How you been here 20 years? We've been here 500, and they got 5 times as many Hispanic serving institutions comparatively. And we're struggling. You just saw the HBCU Howard students out there for what, 6 months? Sleeping on the grounds. And I attended Howard. Those rats are as big as cats. Okay? So you got them sleeping outside because the rats and the rodents and the roaches and the mildew and the mold are all within the building during COVID. But y'all keep voting blue no matter damn who, or no tangible, no vote, to our peril. Back to the text. For Latina education groups, leveraging their growing representation is part of the politics. It clearly is not a part of the politics of the Congressional Black Caucuses. 500 Hispanic serving institutions to 100. We've been here 500 years. They've been here about what? Since the 65 Immigration Act? What's that? I can't do the math in my head. Hold on, y'all. I gotta bring out my calculator. I used to be a math genius. Well, you know. 57 years to our 500 years. Our ancestors built the wealth they eat from. They clearly got people working at their behest, right? Where's your Congressional Black Caucuses that y'all keep going out here giving symbolic votes to? And now we're in a fight with Joe Crow, whom y'all delivered the White House, not me. I didn't vote for him. Over the $2.7 billion set aside in the Build Back Better plan. That was supposed to be earmarked specifically for HBCU. See the grift? Back to the text. We have no one. We have no friends. We're at war. The White House Democrats, my word, wrote the multi-trillion-dollar reconciliation measure, which would require minority-serving institutions to compete for the billions of dollars, has also mobilized Latino higher education advocates. Where are our higher education advocates? Put it in the chat. They are wielding influence in Congress, even at the risk of alienating HBCU advocates who are better known on Capitol Hill. We have no friends. But y'all, not my informed ones, not the ones that are rolling with me, not the ones who overstand my Freedmen protest voter strategy. I'm not talking to you. Y'all want to sit up here and cry crocodile tears because Trump said mean shit. He tweeted mean stuff. and call Africa an ish-hole country. And that's the basis in which you want to continue to vote blue no matter who. This past midterm, y'all decided it was a novel idea to keep the Democrats in control of the Senate. I haven't seen the hardcore numbers yet. I'm grateful that the Republicans now have the control of the House. Let me help you. Commercial. Disclaimer. Whatever you want to call it. I'm an independent. This is a protest vote. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? I sure hope so. Because we got nothing coming until we bring these Democrats to their knees for several election cycles for their intentional neglect of American freedmen. So instead of giving the Republicans total control of the House and the Senate, in order to get these borders closed, which is another thing that Trump did for American freedmen. That's a tangible. That's clearly a tangible. Forgive the noise in the background. My daughter chose to do laundry in the midst of me going live. It's just freedman life. But folks is looking at me sideways, acting as if I'm in contention for a personality contest with grifters who are everywhere in social media. Yeah. I'm supposed to be the one that's in competition with no tangibles, no vote. When I offer up a protest voter strategy that actually worked. Well, the voter strategy has yet to be proven to work. Okay. I don't really know what the numbers were, so I can't accredit that strategy to what just happened in the House. But clearly there should have been a red wave, given the intentional neglect of the Democrats. This protest voter strategy is about closing these borders and putting a moratorium on legal immigration so we could thrive. Case in point, when Trump was in office, he had a control over these borders. They were far more secure. We didn't have an mass of deportations. Why? They were too afraid to even come into the country with Trump at the helm. They wouldn't even try it. They didn't want that ice, baby. But I've already shared with you, here in the state of California, as they sit up here and lie about our unemployment numbers, trying to act like it's 6.5% when we're about 12% or higher. It was 5% when Trump was in office because he had a control over those borders. And I just read for you, they don't give a damn about alienating HBCU advocates who are better known on the Capitol Hill. I don't even know who they are. And clearly they're not effective if these Hispanics have been here 57 years. And they've got 500 institutions to our 100. That, oh, by the way, American freedmen can't even afford to attend. Black immigrants can. Hispanics can. White folks can. I told y'all that Trinidadian president is earning about $200,000 plus per year, while predominantly freedmen kids were sleeping on the yard for 6 months because being on the yard with the rats as big as cats was far more secure and safe than being in the dorms that were dilapidated. Back to the text. It's a resource question, said Representative Raul Grijalva, Democrat in Arizona, a co-chair of the Congressional Hispanic Serving Institutions Caucus, who supports adding more money to the grants, though Democrats are looking to pare down the size of the bill. We should not be getting into robbing Peter to pay Paul or fighting over an amount that doesn't satisfy the needs of respective groups of people. He cautions that a competition for resources could create strife between education advocates who could benefit from allyship. It's difficult only because I don't want to add to a division that is unnecessary right now, he said, while noting Democrats are still trying to get their struggling bill over the finish line as communities of color What's the lesson for today, boys and girls? The weaponization of our never-ending Holocaust to give everyone but American freedmen the bag. People of color, communities of color, disenfranchised communities, all of that is to the exclusion of the American freedmen. With your vote. It's best to be as unified as possible going forward. Advocates for Latino students have rallied throughout the summer and fall to make sure Latino students aren't shortchanged in what the Biden administration has billed as a once-in-a-generation investment. This is what I mean by the Democrats piling on top of American freedmen, burdening us with the brown before making us American, before making us citizens, before making us whole, $1 million per American freedman descendant of U.S. chattel slavery. Undocumented students could get access to federal financial aid through the social spending package. Money that was initially earmarked for the HBCU. Are you seeing the grift yet? Resource poor HSIs, Hispanic Serving Institutes, and other minority serving institutions would be allotted billions in grant funding for research and development. And Joe Crow's push for free community college could make higher education more affordable for their students, as 52% of Hispanic undergraduates attend these institutions. Already happening out here in the state of California. We are voting for our own erasure and replacement when we don't invoke my Freedmen Protest voter strategy. This is not about me trying to win a personality contest in the social media spaces. This is about our capacity to tread water long enough to get reparationists in office at every branch of government so that we can actually realize reparations one of these days. But with the current administration and the current Democrats, you've got nothing coming if you stay your ass at home or if you continue to vote for the Democrats. Out here, it's already happening. We're down from 6.6 million to around 2 million. If you add in the immigrants, Black immigrants, 2.6 million. Illegals outnumber us in terms of American freedmen. They're 2.3 million now and getting everything, especially free education at these community colleges. And as California goes, so goes the nation, right? Groovy. But some Latino education groups also want federal dollars for Latino students in K through 12 classrooms or migrant students, making it harder for lawmakers to focus on the one subject Latino student advocates find most pressing: college. This is where your reparations is going. We have so many areas of interest and focus. It's really been more of a challenge to figure out how we consolidate that power base around an agenda that addresses the pathway in the pipeline and Latinos in higher education. Deborah Santiago, CEO of Excelencia in Education, an organization that advocates for Latino college students, said in an interview. I'm done. I just wanted to look. Just comparing Trump bragging about what he's done for American freedmen. Some things he claimed, some things he didn't take credit for, but I'm here to tell you, when he had a handle on these borders, my reparations dollars wasn't being given to Asians and Hispanics and Indians, East Indian Brahmin caste for H-1B visas. They were the ones responsible for Title 42 and keeping this bullshit out of here during COVID. Now, conveniently, the pandemic has ended just in time for the midterms, right? And yet private corporations and public sector are still insisting that we jab. but not the immigrants. Over 5 million Joe Crow is let into the country. They're not required to jab. So let's see what else. Go back to the article so we can keep on going through. Oh my God, is it really 146? So what I'm really going to try to do, family, is be here on Sundays. I might have to pop in and out with my different segments because I was born to talk. And I got a lot on my mind and a lot to share. So he's helped redistrict resources to the opportunity zones. Let's talk about it. What you need to know about opportunity zones. Yo, I can't stand these ads. Lord have mercy. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA, known for creating opportunity zones, is often celebrated for its potential to move billions of dollars into low-income communities. However, there remains an open question as to whether this program will ultimately serve to add value or extract value from these communities. Me speaking. These communities that are now overwrought with illegal immigration, okay? Our burden. While the state governor and mayors have made sanctuary cities to our erasure and replacement, using our tax dollars, our reparations to build, housing for the illegals. You break the law, but you get better housing than American freedmen, who are over 60% of the homeless population. In San Francisco, they're 5%. And I want to say, it's a whole nother article I want to bring you guys. Hold on, y'all. What percent of blacks are homeless in San Francisco? So, in every state in America, Black people are more likely to experience homelessness than their white counterparts, and the Bay Area is no exception. Despite representing 5% of San Francisco's population, I have to do another search to share this with you, what they are now reduced to. We weren't always 5% in the state, we were 17%. But now they're 5% in San Francisco. But their homelessness rate is 37%. Okay. So when you talk about these opportunity zones, when you talk about illegal immigration starving us of our resources and our reparations, and creating homelessness, then you get to see Trump ain't did shit with this opportunity zone piece, okay? But let's get into it. Back to the text. Opportunity zones are defined as economically distressed communities where new investments under certain conditions may be eligible for preferential tax treatment. First conceived in April of 2018, opportunity zone plans are now in place for communities in all 50 states this year. How it works is that each state nominates blocks of low-income areas by census tract, which are then certified by the Secretary of the U.S. Treasury via his delegation of authority to the IRS. Through the IRS, investors can file a Form 8896 to create a qualified opportunity fund, vehicles structured as either a partnership or corporation for the purpose of investing in an opportunity zone census tract, whether in real estate or directly in businesses through equity. The fund is required to hold at least 90% of its assets in that qualifying opportunity zone area. simply understanding the mechanisms of opportunity zones creates a major barrier to entry for more socially minded investors. This interview aims to unpack some of the mystery. Marquise Bryant works at Acumen America, a seed stage investment fund focused on helping low-income families generate better access to healthcare, education, and financial services, taking a startup approach and working with early stage companies. He was born in a now designated opportunity zone, went to college in an Oz for short, and most recently was married in an Oz. He has been working diligently to identify and maximize the impact opportunity of opportunity zones and shared his insight on how communities across America can best benefit from the program. Oz's are places in the U.S. where over 30 million people live and work across our country. They cover downtown, industrial, suburban, and rural areas. They're part of daily life for a lot of people. Excuse me one second. Why is she? Excuse me, fam. My child has my car, honey. So I got to stay a little present over here. Child the ghetto. To make okay. They cover downtown, industrial, suburban, and rural areas. They're part of daily life for a lot of people. To make a profit, essentially a taxpayer must sell an asset and generate a capital gain. The taxpayer then puts the capital gain into a qualified Oz fund. There is ultimately delay and reduction of taxes owed to the government. If held for 10 years, that taxpayer can pay zero capital gains tax on the new investment in the fund. I think that's the real prize. If you hold your investment in some of these opportunity zones from funds, you essentially pay no tax on your returns, which could lead to a 30 to 40% increase in your annualized return. That's what I want people to really understand. This isn't a small tax benefit. It's pretty massive. The problem in our country is that capital is moved in a predictable fashion to serve certain regions and populations the last 100 years or so. That's why certain groups and places continue to be left behind. Oz's are simply an incentive to move capital across America in a more inclusive fashion, more quickly, and to more places where it just naturally wouldn't end up. Are Oz's going to be universally extractive or additive? In other words, who tends to benefit more with projects like these? The investors holding the wealth or the communities getting new businesses and real estate built? Well, I can answer you on that. If your national median income is $40,000, how do you benefit from new business and real estate being built? You don't have the money to qualify to participate in either. Let's read what he had to say about it. I think they're both. They are extractive because investors with wealth from across the country are investing in low-income places and expect to generate a return on their investment. That capital will not be owned by the people that need opportunity. However, Oz's are also additive because entrepreneurs can open businesses and develop real estate using other people's money as a catalyst. That's how people have generated wealth since the 1600s. Additionally, money is just one form of capital. Investments in human capital can remain even after an investment is exited, like investing in an entrepreneur who still has that experience, that context, the contacts, and the ability to move on to something bigger and better. One of my mentors told me that you really need to follow policy because policy is how capital moves. You see, this is why we need the Office of Freedmen Affairs for this kind of bullshiggity. How many freedmen do you know in the hood are following policy? but the immigrants are. And they're making sure the resources get to their people. If you think about mortgage interest tax deduction, that's why we have such a huge single family home real estate economy. You look at 401ks, that's why we have this huge retirement market. It's all because of government incentives. So I see opportunity zones as very structural incentives that can have sweeping effects around impact investing. Once again, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so when you lack political education, you start to believe in these grifts while they're setting themselves up to line their own pockets to our peril. Okay, I'm kind of finished with that article. Let's see what else this Forbes article has to say. Let's go back. So that to me is another way where the rich keep getting richer in our communities while squeezing us out. I don't see anything advantageous unless we have an Office of Freedmen Affairs that can, go up in here and track what's going on with this money and make sure it gets to our people. Next. Well, I'm kind of done with that one. Let's go over here. So I want to show you this. Hi, y'all. Gloria, I see you. Antithesis, Bootney, Lee Farnsworth is a tether. Wow, I didn't realize that was sitting so low. Forgive me, family. Camera was way off. Don't. Sorry, guys. Yes, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. So let's go to Schumer and why more support for weaponizing your vote and socializing your suffering. Stand by. Ooh, not that. Okay, let's go over here and talk about more Democrat puckery. Oops, didn't mean to do that one. Stop sharing. I want to stop sharing that. Oh, I keep making that mistake. I'll be able to read your comments, family. I'll be back. Let's see here. Share screen. Let's find. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications while I'm trying to find my audio on Chuck Schumer. Here we go.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
That was Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Now, this is what I have a problem with. He's sitting up here. Let me just make myself a little bigger. And then I have more to share from this particular video by The Hill. Hi, Sandra. Okay. Hi, Cassandra. Yes, my email address is therepperspect@gmail.com. Cassandra, let me write it here. Yes, if you'd like to get involved in your respective states and you want to find out who are the real workers in the contemporary reparations grassroots movement, please Gmail me so I can put you in touch with responsible comrades. I don't want you guys to fall in the hands of the grifters, okay? So please Gmail me to get plugged in. We need all hands on deck, okay? So what I have a problem with here, family, is the fact that this election cycle, the Democrats pretty much won on abortion. Here Chuck Schumer is talking about how there's a need for more workers. American freedmen can't cut a break. Out here in the state of California, you have to know Spanish. And even if you speak it as fluently as Pedro, you don't have the complexion for the protection for hire. They're hiring their own, and they're running it out here. And as California goes, so goes the nation. Let me get into this article before I share the rest of that. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, family. Hold on, guys. I got so many windows open. You just have to be a little patient. Here we go. How the Democrats use the abortion debate to hold off of a red wave. Oh, Namyeho Renge Kyo. I promised I was going to keep my peace and not allow the puckery of the Democrats to disrupt the calm peace of my soul. But I feel it happening. So, this is basically the strength in which our people, along with conservative Latinos who are getting all of our reparations and protections, pretty much being used to erase and replace freedmen. They ran to the polls this midterm to stave off a red wave, and abortion was the case that they voted for. Our people included. In the first major election post-Roe, Democrats tied abortion rights to everyday economics and tapped into fears about the rise of right-wing Republicans. For months, the midterm elections appeared to be a clash over rising prices, public safety worries, and fears of a looming recession. But another driving issue proved almost as powerful for voters: abortion rights. Yeah, we've given 20 million plus babies back to God, but we run to the polls to guarantee that we can continue to murder our children instead of men getting vasectomies, instead of using condoms, instead of getting on the birth control pill. Let's just continue to use abortion as a form of birth control. That's what we overwhelmingly voted for. In the first major election since the Supreme Court overturned the case that ensured a federal right to an abortion for nearly half a century, abortion rights broke through, lifting Democrats to victory in Virginia, Minnesota, Michigan, and New Mexico. Voters in 3 states, California, Vermont, and highly contested Michigan, decided to protect abortion rights in their state constitutions. In a 4th, Kentucky, a conservative bastion and home to Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader in the Senate, voters rejected an amendment saying their constitution gave no right to an abortion. For decades, abortion politics worked a certain way, rallying the repugnant clan base and abortion opponents with far more intensity than abortion rights supporters. Conservative evangelicals and Catholics often voted on abortion or the future of the Supreme Court, even if it meant compromising other priorities. But overturning Roe v. Wade appears to have flipped the script. In the months since the June decision, Democrats seized on the issue, linking abortion to everyday family economics and health care, and tapping into voters' fears about the rise of far-right repugnant clans. They wove the issue into broader Democratic messages that framed the election as a referendum on what they describe as repugnant clans' extreme views, and not on President Joe Crow and Democratic control in Washington. It was all tied together. Representative Diana DeGette, the Colorado Democrat and longtime head of the pro-choice caucus in the House, said on Wednesday morning, it wasn't like, here's our wedge issue, abortion. People were thinking, I'm worried about the economy. I'm worried about freedoms being taken away. And they were worried about democracy too. Because it's so democratic, right? To be able to abort your babies and use abortion as a form of birth control, right? Instead of giving American freedmen the reparations and the quadrillions that we are long overdue. So, as I said, we continue, not me, not many of the genius that's in this thread. We continue to vote for our own erasure and replacement. Instead of holding the line with the Freedmen protest voter strategy, shout out to those of you who went out there and invoked it, over withholding the vote for tangibles that clearly aren't coming when you withhold the vote instead of weaponizing it. But I digress. Let me stop sharing this one before I comment some more. I got a part 2 to the Hill. That I queued up. Well, that wasn't supposed to be there.
President, my understanding is very some things were changed, but it was not. It was not specifically like a Trump kind of thing. It was just the way the federal government has generally treated these people.
Hold on.
My understanding is very some things were changed, but it was
sorry,
not,
guys. I had it all
like
queued up, and now
the
I'm trying to
treatment
find
of asylum seekers, of kids that have come over, of the treatment of continuity in the immigration policies is something I think we've noted before, that the very spontaneous, momentary outrage about the treatment of asylum seekers, of kids that have come over the border during the Trump administration. And then we learned that a lot of those facilities and even some of the pictures were from when Obama was president. Yeah. My understanding is very some things were changed, but it was not. It was not specifically like a Trump kind of thing. It was just the way the federal government has generally treated these people, which you can think is wrong. I do think it was wrong.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it was made into because of Trump's rhetoric, uniquely malicious.
Yes, which again raises questions about whether or not there will be more substantive justice under a DeSantis versus a Trump. Since you got to give it to Trump, he knows how to say things in a way that gets people actually in the streets and agitating for change, even if those aren't the changes that you or anybody in particular believes in.
Yo, I'm sorry, I don't think that was it.
Legalizing the immigrants here and policy switch on.
Okay, this is the part.
Democrats do the bad thing.
Okay, here we go.
It's interesting how much there has been a kind of policy switch on this issue. You heard how Chuck Schumer was justifying in that clip, legalizing the immigrants here, inviting more because we don't have enough workers. We need more workers. We need more people to contribute to the economy in that way. that's something, 2 or 3 decades ago, Republicans would have said, and Democrats who are more protectionist and more had the working class, the blue collars, union people, et cetera, who don't want to compete with that labor, were more inclined to say, well, what about taking American jobs? Now the sorting has occurred, and increasingly those voices are within the Republican Party. The Democratic Party is more a party of the managerial elite. So they want more workers, they want more immigrants. The Republican Party is now the voice of the, well, what about the American worker, et cetera, and so forth.
Well, it's work doing.
Okay, to my point, right? So here they are. These Democrats are pushing more for us to vote to abort our babies over giving us the reparations and protections we are long overdue. And they're claiming we need workers, while not hiring freed men, women, and children. Do you see how the Democrats are here for our erasure and replacement with our own vote? Because this is exactly what we continue to show to the polls to do. Clearly, if the Democrats are still holding the bag in the Senate, right? My Friedman protest voter strategy didn't resonate far and wide enough. And so now, in addition to being here weekly, God willing, to push the Friedman protest voter strategy, now I have to hit the streets with flyers and talk to the people. Because we are voting for our own erasure and replacement. You heard it out of his own mouth. We need workers. We've got a ton of American freedmen who need jobs and can't get them. From low level all the way up and through executives. So this is what we keep voting for when we don't weaponize the vote and socialize the suffering and bring these Democrats to their knees for several election cycles until they're begging us to cut our checks in the quadrillions over several lifetimes. And then the last thing I want to touch on for this segment, like I said, I more than likely will be back later this evening. I've got 2 more very important topics I want to unpack. There have been some new developments. I may just go right into that one after I read your comments. New developments in the Shanquella Robinson case. I want to do that under a different segment and give a few minutes to that topic to help keep the topic alive until justice for Shanquella has come full circle for every last one of those diabolical frenemies. I'm not going to do it here. I will probably just shut down for about 30 minutes and come back, give people a little bit of time to get the notices. And then I've got one I want to do on Kyrie. Okay. But I will probably do them in separate videos because I don't know that I'll be able to come back to you during the week. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, I am busy with my own org. I'm not going to disclose much about it just yet, but it's just epic to have comrades who are willing to put in the work because we don't get a damn thing done just sitting up in Twitter spaces all day. You've got to come up with a plan and you've got to implement the plan. And that's boots on the ground. Okay. So that's what I'm doing during the week is working on that and then come to you Sundays. I think that's the way we're going to have to do it, family, because I got 2 years to guarantee Newsom, nor Joe Crow, nor Kabami, nor Obama get elected. My work is cut out for me. So the last thing I want to talk about, let's close some of these out because this is what's confusing me. Too much open. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, family. Thank you in advance. I don't know what this is. Okay, let me close this out. Close this out. Let me see here. What's this one? Okay, we did that one. Okay, we need to do that one. We need to do that one. We need to do that one. Okay. Dang, I had 2 more to show y'all. Darn it. Okay, let's get into it. I'll try to do them quickly so I can come over and spend the last few minutes with you guys reading your comments. The more pertinent ones. San Francisco launches transgender guaranteed income program. Mayor London Breed announced the launch. More Democrats. This is a democratically controlled state. This is how you go from over 6 million to 2, where the illegal immigrants now outnumber you. This is how it happens. Mayor London Breed announced the launch of a new guaranteed income program for San Francisco's trans community. The Guaranteed Income for Trans People program will provide low-income transgender San Franciscans with $1,200 each month for up to 18 months to help address financial insecurity within trans communities, Breed revealed Wednesday. Do you see why my work is cut out for me? Our work is cut out for us. Reparations is the long game. There are immediate things that we each need to be doing in our respective communities. I just shared with you that American freedmen are 5% of the Bay Area's population and 37% of the homeless. And yet, Mayor London Breed is giving $1,200 a month to trans people. This is UBI. This needs to happen for freedmen all over the country. We've got work to do. The pilot program is the first guaranteed income initiative to focus solely on trans people and will provide regular, unconditional cash transfers to individuals or households who qualify, according to the mayor's office. Me speaking. But freedmen, immigrants, and white folks alike want to be all up in our $1 million bag per American freedman to talk about how frivolous it is to give us cash because we're just going to go out there and blow it, right? You're just going to blow it. You don't know what to do with that kind of money. To continue to deprive and deny and rob us of the money we're owed. It's none of your hot damn business what they do with their money. If they want to buy a bazillion pairs of Nike or, a bazillion pounds of hair weave, what's that to you? When folks like Mayor Breed is giving unconditional cash transfers to individuals or households who qualify. But when it comes to American freedmen, everybody wants to pocket watch, including American freedmen, to justify not giving us $1 million apiece or greater. $1 million is my bottom. This differs from other social safety net practices by providing a steady, predictable stream of cash to recipients to spend as they see fit without limitations. The GIFT program will provide eligible trans individuals with temporary income and a range of wraparound direct services such as gender-affirming medical and mental health care, as well as financial coaching, according to the mayor's office. But we get the race soldiers who get to execute our mentally traumatized by state sanction. No end to qualified immunity. The city will accept applications from November 15th through December 15th. Our guaranteed income program allows us to help our residents when they need it most as part of our city's economic recovery and our commitment to creating a more just city for all, Breed said. We know that our trans communities experience much higher rates of poverty and discrimination. So this program will target support to lift individuals in this community up. GIFT is one of several programs the city is developing and implementing to support San Francisco residents and to promote economic stability and recovery. I'm done. Stick a fork in me. Next and last, let me add this exclamation point to what I just read. While the poverty rate for the population as a whole in San Francisco is 11.6%, the rate varies greatly by race. Blacks have the highest poverty rate at 19.5%, as compared to non-Hispanic whites with the lowest at 8.1%. Hold on, guys. I got to close some of these screens. And the last one I'm going to get to is this empty student loan forgiveness. Let's start with the fact that class-based policies don't fix race. Student loan forgiveness should backfire on Biden. Joe Crow has announced that the federal government will forgive $10,000 in student loan debt for Americans making less than $125,000 annually, as well as extend the student loan repayment moratorium. This plan is estimated to cost taxpayers $330 billion and should be seen as the most unfair, outrageous, and disgraceful decision in many years. The president is telling Americans that they do not have to bear any responsibility for their voluntary obligations in borrowing money or going into debt. His proposal is also regressive and inflationary and possibly unconstitutional. All of which he knew. Giving student loans disproportionately benefits those with higher incomes. According to the Penn-Wharton budget model, more than 70% of the debt forgiveness would be given to households who are in the top 60% of income distribution. The president's proposal will force middle and low-income Americans who have paid off their student loans or never attended college in the first place, pick up the tab for higher-income Americans who decided to take on substantial student loan debt and have not yet fully paid off their loans. This is what I mean, family, by the Democrats' intentional neglect of American freedmen while weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to give wealthy immigrants, which is the only kind they really import, along with those they can make white, and white folks the bag. This is how they give them our reparations and protections. As the mere 20% of American freedmen who benefit from degrees turn somersaults and want to rush out here and to continue to vote Joe Crow and the Democrats over this nothing burger, which is now caught up in the courts. Repugnant clans and conservatives, let me finish this and I'll talk about that. Repugnant clans and conservatives are not the only ones concerned about this fiscally reckless proposal. Larry Summers, an economic advisor to former President Barack Obama and Secretary of the Treasury under former President Clinton with 3 Ks, said the student debt relief is highly regressive as higher income families are more likely to borrow and to borrow more than lower income families. Adults with student loans have much higher lifetime incomes than those without. Former Obama Council of Economic Advisors Chairman Jason Furman said that forgiving student loan debt benefits recent college grads at the expense of both the rich and poor. He tweeted that it would be reckless to add gasoline on the inflationary fire, and the loan forgiveness would go beyond the president's campaign promise of $10,000 in student loan relief. While violating his promise, his proposals would be paid for. In April 22, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat here in California, said that President Joe Crow does not have the power to forgive student loans. So let's talk about it. Held up in court. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals blocked the Biden administration's plan to forgive at least $10,000 in federal student loans for most borrowers nationwide, despite the Joe Crow administration asking any order against it to be limited to just the 6 states that sued: Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and South Dakota, maybe? A federal appeals court on Monday blocked the Joe Crow administration's student loan forgiveness plan, placing yet another obstacle in the way of a program that had promised to forgive up to $20,000 in student debt for about 40 million Americans. A federal judge in Texas has ruled that Joe Crow's student loan forgiveness program is unconstitutional, essentially because the judge believes that the program is an illegal overreach of presidential power. It was also a grift. You don't think he knew this would be blocked? You mean to tell me he's as dumb and stupid as he looks and sounds? No. He absolutely knew this would happen. That was a grift to get black folks sheep walking to the polls under the auspice that he was doing a damn thing for freedmen. The grift. And this is the beauty of how the ancestors work, family, right? This is the beauty. The ancestors are hard at work to block all of this bullshiggity. How dare 20% of American freedmen be selfish enough to support this measure while the 80% not have a damn thing? How dare they be in support of class-based policies which clearly don't fix freedmen? It's selfish, and the ancestors are blocking it, akin to this other block the ancestors have delivered on our behalf. Democrats confront bleak odds for immigration deal before 23. That's exactly what they're vying for, family. They want those votes. They want to add 14 million because it ain't no 11 million like Schumer lied. It's probably 14 to 20 million by now. They are having babies, even though they're in support of us aborting ours. So they want to give the 5+ million that they've allowed over the border since Joe Crow took office, plus the 14 to 20 million on top of the 46 million for the upcoming 24 election. And your vote, not mine, because I made the bitch bleed, okay? I voted Repugnant Klan all up and through that ticket up out here in California. Hey, okay? So, the majority of our people are sheep walking to the polls for symbolism. Even though Barack Obama, who looked like us, proved with his no to reparations that he clearly isn't us, right? Y'all went out here and delivered them so we couldn't have a red wave and stop this illegal migration into this country so that American freedmen can thrive and flourish. But I've got, what is it? I have about 18 months, maybe 2 years. I don't know. I got to do the math. January 24, they'll be instated. I think the elections are January 25. I have 2 years before the general to turn this around and make my messaging go more viral than the non-strategies of no tangibles, no vote. Democrats are eager to find a legislative solution before 23 for young undocumented immigrants are getting a wake-up call. They need votes from Republicans who don't want to do it. As the GOP prepares to take the House, top Senate Democrats are desperately proclaiming that the post-election session is the best and perhaps only chance for Congress to act in the near term on deportation protections for the illegal immigrants known as Dreamers. And with good reason. After the Senate passed a comprehensive bill in 2013, the Republican-controlled House never took it up. Ergo, my Freedmen protest voter strategy. I don't give a damn if Walker can't speak the King's English. I don't care if he aborted his babies. It is pro-life, really pro-birth, because them Republicans ain't no pro-life. That would mean an American wage for American freemen, home and business ownership. So the Republicans need to stop that lie. I don't give a damn who he slept with, which family members are wounded by his actions. That man is about shutting down abortion as a form of birth control and closing these borders. So I need American freedmen in droves to be about the same damn thing come December the 6th. Back to the text. That recent history has Majority Leader Chuck Schumer proclaiming that we want to get it done, and Senate Judiciary Chair Dick Durbin, Democrat in Illinois, saying that the time to act is now. But even those on the GOP side who once supported a fix for the deportation protection program known as Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals are now against it. Oh, happy day. Do you see how the Republicans are now the lesser of two evil? Since that's what y'all foolishly, you sheeple, love to be about. Y'all love your lesser of two evil non-strategy, withhold the vote non-strategy, vote blue, no matter damn who non-strategies. We got a whole party over here offering us the tangible of closing these borders and putting a hold on a moratorium on legal immigration. Because they are American first. They are citizens first. But do you have the cojones and the backbone to weaponize this opportunity in front of you? From the looks of the midterm in that Senate, no, you don't. So I have to lean in until you grow a backbone and the cojones. Back to the text. Senator Marco Rubio, Republican in Florida, said Democrats are crazy to try pushing for a deal now. I think they're just trying to do it probably to please some activist groups. No, they're trying to do it to neutralize American freedmen vote. And Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican in South Carolina, Rubio's only remaining GOP partner on the 2013 bill brokered by the so-called Gang of Eight, claims there's no way you're going to get anybody on our side to do an immigration bill with a broken border. It's the latest setback on the subject for immigration reform advocates who are on track to end 2 years of unified Democratic power in Washington with no significant progress. Senate Democrats have yet to put an immigration bill on the floor, and the two narrower immigration bills the House passed this Congress never advanced across the Capitol. So do you see the Democrats playing with the immigrants too? That's why the immigrants know how to do what clearly the American freedmen have yet to learn. Their vote is split down the middle, baby. That's the way they keep their foot on the necks of the Democrats. This is the way they got leverage. There's been some talk of effort in the upper chamber led by Senators Michael Bennet, Democrat Colorado, and Mike Crapo, Republican in Idaho, to move the bipartisan House-passed immigration bill focused on easing visas for agricultural workers before 23, but that could prove a heavy lift. Oh, instead of giving the relief that you promised, the COVID debt relief to the black farmers, it was a paltry what? 8.5 million as compared to like 16 billion. Wait, 20 billion. I think it's about 16 billion for the white folks. And because the black farmers were getting 8.5 million, the least of all the groups, the whites and the immigrants got upset and took it to the Supreme Court, and then Joe Crow rescinded it altogether. Another thing that he knew was not going to get any traction. And so now you want to flood the country with agriculturalists when we've got our black farmers here who need to keep their farms so that we're not dependent on food abroad. The black farmers can be paid into perpetuity and be able to bequeath that to their children and so on and so forth. You see the grift? But that could prove a heavy lift. And even that small step won't dispel the gloomy post-midterms atmosphere for advocates who see a closing window for Congress to offer legal status to undocumented immigrants. It's a long shot, but we're still going to try, Durbin said of the lame duck. Another option for Democrats, putting an immigration bill on the floor and forcing Republicans to take a vote. Yet any roll call this December may be a replay from the last time the House split from Democrats to Republican control. In 2010, most GOP senators and a handful of Democrats blocked a bill that would have granted Dreamers a path to legal status, eventually leading then President Barack Obama to take executive action. Now, Democrats and immigration advocates argue there's added urgency after an appeals court ruling in October left uncertain the fate of undocumented, illegal, my word, immigrants who came to the United States as children. The court deemed the DACA program illegal, but indicated that current recipients of deportation protections wouldn't be affected amid the litigation. Advocates predict the case will end up before the Supreme Court. It's not like we have 5 years, says Raha Walla, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships and Advocacy at the National Immigration Law Center. The current DACA recipients are in this state of legal limbo, really in fear of the fact that the Supreme Court is going to make a final determination that, yep, this thing is unlawful, and y'all are out of luck. Bring on President Trump, because that's exactly what's going to happen if I've got anything to do with it. Those dire conditions aren't moving Republicans to produce the 10 votes the Senate needs to pass anything. In fact, the politics of immigration compromise have become more fraught for the GOP ever since the Senate passed the Gang of 8 bill with 14 Republican votes. Former President Donald Trump, who crushed the last real attempt at a bipartisan immigration bill in 2018, is a major factor in that. I love it. And now Senate Republicans are coming off a recent intra-party leadership fight after making the surge in border crossings a central part of their 22 campaign message. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican out of Missouri, said that there would be an unimaginable backlash against Republicans if they cut a deal now with the Democrats. You best believe it. And I got my eye on y'all. Okay? And some Republicans like Graham suggested they wanted to wait until the new GOP-controlled House sent over a border security bill before proceeding. Close the motherfucking borders and put a moratorium on legal immigration until you pay us our reparations in the quadrillions over several lifetimes. Even so, Democrats say that behind the scenes, Republicans are showing interest even if they don't admit it publicly. They best not admit that bullshitty publicly, and they better not admit it in some type of vote.
Because then there will be a civil war in this country. White folks ain't doing nearly as bad as American freedmen under this oppressive boot of legal and illegal immigration. But they don't want to lose no margin. And right now, the Asians are making more money than them. That's why they're hotter than fish grease. Okay, I'm pretty much done with this. Let me come over because it's 2:40 and I want to read some of your comments. But you get the idea here. The ancestors are working, family. And it's up to us to do our part. It's up to us to do our parts and weaponize this vote and bring the Democrats to their knees for several election cycles until they're begging us to cut our checks. Okay? All right. Hi, Sandra. We have to change Georgia laws, take down Confederate statutes, change the gratuitous closure clause, change the gratuitous. Oh, Lord. I need my glasses. Are they even clean? This print over here is way too small. Let me go back. We have to change Georgia laws, take down Confederate statutes, change the gratuitous clause. Now the homeless have to join a work program to get food stamps. Okay. I like that the homeless are going to get jobs, but they should be able to get food stamps, period. I like that part. They need work. They need to be able to sustain themselves, or they're going to become incarcerated. Because here in California, they've made vagrancy illegal, so they can arrest you if you're homeless. I'm sure that's coming to Georgia. So please, I would love to see them working with American wages so they can turn their lives around. Alma of Earthia, yep, moratorium on all immigration until we're lifted out of poverty. You best to make us citizens first. I'm on this freedmen protest voter strategy till times get better for American freedmen. Until American freedmen are made American in salary, home, and business ownership and education. Yair is asking Satra Del Reed 360, can parolees vote there? We got to groom our local and state candidates because I saw a lot of incumbents run unopposed. We have to run against the Dems and the Republicans. Yes, we do. And we've got to be boots on the ground. Shout out to Cap. Another round of applause for getting Stacey Hall, GOP DC mayoral candidate, from 2,500 to 20,789 votes in 3 weeks with no money. Y'all need to be reaching out to Asun Powell. She was a campaign manager. Reach out to her at Capital Accountability Project and ask her how to do just what you're advising, Satra. But our candidates must be groomed, and they have to understand that their nominations, they will not be elected into office on Twitter Space. They got to come off the Twitter Space. They've got to get active, get some credits on their resumes, and hit the streets and talk to the people. That's what the Sun did. I'm going up from the bottom. Warlock won't do a thing for American freedmen either. He has showed himself. Oh, no, he ran from Marcel Dixon, and he has nothing on his platform that's inclusive of American freedmen. They are going to do to Georgia what they've done to California. Those Democrats, you've got to get them out of office. You must vote for Walker or you're finished. U.S. Reps Sheila Jackson Lee and Al Green are trying to get 2 DACA recipients out of Mexico.
Breathe, Angela. But our people just keep showing to the polls to keep re-electing them. Georgia voters have to block vote, protest vote, and change state laws. Yes, ma'am, Satra. Warnock has not done anything for freedmen in Georgia and will not. And will not. Oh, yes, he will. He will replace you. You're going to look up and see yourself in about 10 years looking like California if you allow Warnock or Warlock, whatever you call him. If y'all go out there and elect him, it's a wrap for Georgia. I have a video that's in the archives. Check it out. Any in Georgia, please protest vote. Warnock and Dems. Dems' lawyer is trying to take Miss Tamara's house. Yes, Tamara Johnson-Shealy, from what I understand, the Democrats have a lawyer that's working to take Tamara's house. Okay? Y'all need to look up Tamara Johnson-Shealy so you can find her videos on that. She's been filming videos about how this high-powered attorney is trying to take her home, bequeathed to her by her late husband, ex-husband, who recently passed away, to punish her for running for office. That's what they're doing to American freedmen all over the country. Not that specifically, but when you become too much of a threat, they got ways to come in and undermine you and render you homeless. They've got that kind of power. But we must run. We must run for office, unafraid. Please protest vote the Dems and Warnock. Warnock has done nothing for freedmen. Strong Flower supports ranked choice voting. Well, that ain't happening right now. We got two-party oligarch, evil and evil. Choose the one that's going to give immediate relief to American freedmen. And that's the one who wants to close the border and put a hold on put a moratorium on legal immigration. That's your choices. It's, ranked choice voting. They've been talking about that forever. I don't see it coming to pass anytime soon. We've got to deal with the evils that we've voted for. Clearly, we're here because we didn't strategize soon enough. We didn't protest soon enough. Strong Flower 1. Voted mostly Republican clan. More and more blacks in Texas voting Repubs. Woo! That's what I like to hear, Strong Flower. Thank you. Round of applause. You got the backbone of your ancestors. Hey, ow. You got the cojones of your ancestors. Hey, ow. I'm so proud of Texas. Yes. Hi, Prince of Paraphernalia, a.k.a. The Pop, sharing on Blacksby and 6 Zeros. All right now. Thank you. I need to look into that. I don't know of either of those. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Hi, Cassandra. Agree with at Tay Bay. Blacks need a court strategy. NAACP and Urban League not helping. Absolutely, Cassandra. Hit me up if you're interested in how to do that. I can't give away a whole lot. Hit me up at therepperspect at Gmail. It's scrolling in the bar below, and I typed it in the chat. Hi, YVOC Info. Blacks waking up. Mandela Barnes lost the Senate campaign by 27,000 votes. Woohoo! All right, let's get it. Let's go. Let's keep hope alive that I can destroy the Democrats for their intentional neglect of American freedmen, descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. Black voting turnout rate in Milwaukee declined to 2010 levels. This is not good. We do not need any declines. When you withhold your vote, you make space for immigrants to determine the fate of our lineage. Immigrants who seek to replace you and Crayola white supremacists who seek to erase you. There's power in weaponizing your vote. We've got to get our street teams together, Miss Cassandra Thompson, and we need to hit the streets with the Freedmen Protest Voter Strategy and the Freedmen Agenda. If you're interested, hit me up at therepperspect@gmail. Barnes could have won with strong Milwaukee black vote. Well, we don't need them voting for folks who are not working in our own interest. I'm saying to weaponize the vote and socialize the suffering. Vote for closed border, American first, citizenship first, candidates only. Party be damned. Freeman and Cali need to sue this mayor in Cali giving tangibles to others first with your monies. Oh my God. Well, you know, the county did something like that. Let's see. Is it up? I had an article that I covered on one of my, oh, here we go. Citizenship no longer required to work for LA County. We got to get rid of the LA County Board of Supervisors. They were the ones who voted unanimously to hire non-citizens with some exceptions. There were about 880,000 non-citizens living in LA County in 2018. There's about 2.3 million now. So the LA County Board of Supervisors has got to go. This is where we need candidates, and we need to sit down with Republicans and work with folks who lost the last election cycles and see if they want to run again. It's a whole agenda. Hit me up. I don't have time to do it right now. I got 10 minutes left to read the rest of the comments. But yeah, we absolutely need to work with folks who want to help us sue. Okay? Micromanagers, even our own American freedmen. Yes. Yep. Tay Bay, I see you, family. Thank you for being a co-host in the chat. Thanks to all my co-hosts. And fight against the war propaganda. The government wants to keep giving away our reparations money to the Ukrainians. Yes, Strong Flower. Yes, darling. Yes, beloved. Absolutely. Was Trump in a war? Giving $1 trillion to the Ukrainian neo-Nazis to fight America's war with Russia? To me, that's a freedom tangible. To not be using our reparations on immigrants and refugees. Okay? And wars. Senseless war. You're absolutely right, Strong Flower. We need more entrepreneurship. We need to employ our own people. Yes, we do, Strong Flower. And we need to talk to the Republicans. Let's start reaching across the aisle to have those conversations. Hit me up at the therepperspect at Gmail if you're interested. Karen Bass said the same ish. It's the Democratic Party line. Bring in more immigrants because birth rates are low. Absolutely, Sam, a.k.a. the Kalesi. Oh, my goodness, my love. I see you, fam. What an honor and a privilege. This sister's Reset Race. You guys must check her out. She's in the building. So good to see you, family. Yes, they want to sit up here and push abortion and get our people sheepwalking to the polls to murder our own children over giving us reparations and protections. And then flooding the country with immigrants because we either don't want to work, which is a bold-faced lie. We were the ones who built all of this, okay, before they flood the zone with immigration. And now they want to pretend and feign that we want to use abortion as a form of birth control. And we don't want reparations nor protections. And we really don't want to work. We're tired. So let's just flood the zone with immigrants. And yet she's now the mayor. Karen Bass is the mayor out here. Yaira told me some news that said Caruso won. That's who I was hopeful for. But that did not happen. She eked it out to our peril. She is clearly working for the Hispanics. Because that's who she lays with and plays with. Okay? You have to understand that they're only bringing in immigrants who despise us, and they're only electing people that look like us who despise us, who are willing to accept the bag to destroy American freedmen. That's who they get behind. The Democrats were saved by new and very young voters. Yeah, that's a problem. So what is the contemporary reparations grassroots movement doing about it? That's why we got to come off of these social media spaces. I will be here less frequently, trying to come to you at least once a week so I can be boots on the ground. If you're interested, Gmail me. Roe v. Wade judgment was so flimsy. Dems have had 50 years to pass a law to legalize abortion, but chose not to do so. How could any woman vote for them? Okay. It's unbelievable that, Strong Flower, that our people are more invested in voting for the right to kill our children than they are the reparations and protections we are long overdue. I hear them wailing and gnashing their teeth. Not so much from the black women. I didn't really see a whole bunch of that. The white women really want this, but I mean, who disproportionately is getting these abortions? Poor American freedmen using abortion as a form of birth control. I'm not against abortion if you've been raped, but I really do believe we've got to be far more responsible. Men, if you don't want children, get a vasectomy if you don't want to wrap it up. Seriously. And women, you've got to start insisting on this. We've got to take responsible for our birth control and not have aborting babies be the form of birth control that we are inevitably choosing out of poverty. Yes, please get involved in your state. We got less than 2 years, American Freedmen family. Thank you, Yaira. Hi, Bootney. Again, I'm just going through reading the pertinent comments. Back up to the top. Latino leaders look out for their people. Meanwhile, Black leaders do the complete opposite. Yes, Bootney. Oh, thank you, Gloria. Ajogwu. You sound like an ally. Thank you. I'm enjoying this content. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Do know, my Black immigrants, that you will be a part of the tangibles. No, you're not entitled to checks. The reparations checks are exclusively for those that descend from U.S. chattel slavery. But everything else that comes out of it, I don't know if you'll be entitled to land, but other protections and things of this nature, you'll definitely be included under the Black umbrella. So always remember, I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm anti the weaponization of immigration against American freedmen to keep us bottom cast in the country our ancestors built with their lives. Thank you for being here, Gloria Ajogwu. Back to your, yes, Bootney, you're right. Black leaders are paid not to assist us. They only put Blacks in office who are for erasing and replacing us. They're paying them to do that. Glorious. See, this is a problem. She used to live in California. She can't afford it anymore. Most of us can't, sweetheart. Most of us are out here by the thread of our chinny chin chin. And why in the world should that be our plight? American freedmen, especially, should be able to live anywhere in the born world after their ancestors built the wealth this country eats from with their lives. We shouldn't have to choose between being in lovely California. Where I live is lovely. We shouldn't have to choose between lovely California and having to move places where we're still going to struggle because they're not paying American wages there either. They're replacing us with immigrants there too. And so now you got to be someplace you really don't desire to be and still struggling. Well, this is what happens when you continue to withhold your vote or you vote blue no matter damn who, to our peril, to our erasure and replacement. That's what's happening. And that's why I'm over here. So thank you for enjoying the content and for weighing in. Yes, we are always at the bottom of nowhere. POC is a curse word. Yes, we need to get the gate back in place. I'm an independent, says Gloria. And Obama taught me a lesson. Yes, ma'am, he taught me too. That's when I woke up and started getting politically active. When he chose to bail out Wall Street and the banks and not Main Street, and did not put regulations on those banks nor audits to guarantee we could hold on to the only asset we really had, which was our homes, it was a wrap for me, along with his no to reparations. And lending, giving small business loans to less than 1% of Black business owners. It was enough. MF's told Black folks to not vote while politicians are giving illegal immigrants the right to vote. Come on, Bootney. Talk that truth to power. Rebel Rides, welcome to the live, fam. The revolution is past due. Yes. Reparations will not be in their agenda. I'm tired of us Black American women and men being murdered, also our children. Yes, Gloria. Yes, that's by design. You can trust and believe that when we were made American with civil rights and affirmative action exclusively benefiting us, we did not have the rise in Black on Black crimes and murder that we're currently undergoing. So there's a direct correlation between what you see happening between the state-sanctioned executions of our poor by the race soldiers and the Black on Black crime and murder. This is happening in impoverished communities. I don't have that happening in my neighborhood. The Rock. Angela, we need at least 100 million apiece, sis. Yes, that's my bottom. That's my bottom. Gloria, he spoke about us Black American people, but that's still not enough. I do know one thing for sure, that both Trump and Joe Crow are racist. I'm speaking for myself here. Joe Crow is 10 times worse. I'm with you, Gloria. For me, I like my racist straight, no chaser. For me, Trump was an equal opportunity racist. Joe Crow and the Republican clans, the Dixiecrats who are still in the Democratic Party, are the worst kind. They'll smile in your face and stab you in the back. No, they'll smile in your face and stab you in your eyes. Hi, Gwen XOXO. I see you, fam. Angela, sweet potato pie is a way to the Rock's heart. Oh, it was everything, family. It was everything. Oh, my goodness. Gmail me your address. I may have to send you one. I have to freeze it. It's fire. Woo. Y'all, I got my mama's gift and love for cooking. And so I work out so I can eat. I'm a foodie. I love Jiffy cornbread and my collard greens with turkey necks. All right, The Rock. You know what time it is. So does my daughter. I don't do turkey necks, but whatever, because they don't really have turkey necks. I like the smoked turkey wings to make my stock for my collard greens. Woo, you don't need no salt when you use that, honey. There's enough salt in that thing. But it sure make them taste nice and smoky. All right, family, that's my time. We're at 3:05. We spent 2 whole hours together. And y'all still commenting. I read from the bottom up. Hi, you want to come say hi? Come on, cutie. This my college girl, y'all. Ain't she pretty like her mama? Come sit down. Now she's running up. Come here. I just love her so. That's my track star, y'all. I got to get ready to make her little goodie bag. Stay tuned. I may be back tonight because I've been on here for 2 hours and I got to get her care package ready. But I thank y'all for being here. Make sure you share. Okay? We are at war. Let's weaponize that vote, socialize this suffering, close the borders, put a moratorium on legal immigration, put an end to these wars and our reparations being used for war. Let's get it. Let's go. Georgia, you're up next. All right, y'all. With that being said, this has been real. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Freedmen and its allies are, God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until we meet again, which will probably be a little later tonight because I got to get these 2 other stories up out of me. I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired next few hours. If no one's told you today, family, if you don't plan to come back on my other 2 stories, know that I love you. Oh, so black, and I love you. Oh, so Freedmen strong. Yes, I do. And until next time, family, I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, and reparations, family. That boy is fire. He's such a prince with his music.